As 2024 comes to an end, we thought you'd like to hear about the cards we opened this year, the cards we canceled, and even better, the trips we used points and miles for. So hold on to your seats. 2024 has been a wild ride. Welcome to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Pam, Alex's mom.
And I'm Jess. Let's talk points. Today, we are talking all about 2024 and our adventures on points and miles. It's been an amazing year with all of our adventures that we've taken. Thanks to points and miles, never could have done it without them. I have been earning and burning my points and miles on some amazing trips this year, as have Alex and Pam. So we cannot wait to share it all with you. We are going to kick it off by talking about the cards that each of us and our player twos opened this year. So this is just the cards that I and Ted have opened in 2024. So at the beginning of 2024, we were riding the ink train. And so we both got the Chase Ink Cash. I got a Chase Ink Preferred. And then Ted got a Chase Sapphire Preferred. So this is his second time having that card. You can get that one every 48 months in between welcome offers. And so last year, I think he closed or downgraded that card. And then I reapplied for that card again this year and got the welcome offer on it again. So that's pretty cool that, second time having the CSP. We both got the City AA business card. We focused a lot on AA miles this year because we are going to Japan next year. And so we are using AA miles to get there on Japan Airlines. So we both got the City AA business card when it had an elevated welcome offer. And then Ted got the City AA Platinum Select personal card through a targeted mailer. We both got that Amex Hilton Surpass when it had the amazing welcome offer of points plus a free night certificate. So both got that. Ted, of course, got targeted for an Amex Business Platinum, even though he already has one. And we actually have a mailer sitting at home that I am planning to take advantage of next week. So he will technically have one more card for 2024 by the time this episode airs, which is just crazy. American Express loves him. I recently got the Capital One Spark Cash Plus, which is not one we talk about a ton, but it has a really amazing welcome offer right now of effectively 200,000 Capital One miles. The minimum spend is ridiculously high. And so I'm able to make it work because of some expenses I have at the end of this year and beginning of 2025, but not one that is going to be doable for everyone. And then Ted got the Capital One Venture X business card. So altogether, we earned over 1.3 million points from welcome offers alone, which I'm happy with. I was hoping for closer to like 1.5 to 2 million, but I will be fine with my 1.3 million.
Well, last year I think you did like did you almost do 2 million last year? So
no, I
maybe
think I did over 2 million last year. And so
that's crazy.
Yeah, just not as good as last year, but
Well, I do remember you said next year I'm going to take things a little slower. I'm not going to open as many cards and I'm not going to take as many trips. I don't know how much less you did of either one of those, but you can't be helped.
I know.
Too much goodness out there to get.
I know it's I should just stop saying these things altogether because it's just ridiculous. All right, Alex, tell us about the cards you and Mitch opened this year.
Okay, so I opened a Barclay AA Advantage red card, the personal card. And we've recently learned that AA or Barclays is not going to have any more AA cards. Like Citi is becoming the sole issuer. So glad I was able to get that. Maybe we'll try to get another one before those end for Mitch. And then I got the IHG Business Premier card. We both got an Ink Business Preferred. So like you said, right, an ink train, trying to get all of the Chase Ultimate rewards that we can. We both also opened the Hilton Honors Surpass card. That was, I think you said you got that one too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So same reason, same offer. Like a lot of times one of us gets a card and we're like, oh, I just got this card, has a great offer. And the rest were like, oh, I'm getting it too. So that was another one of those. Mitch got an Ink Business Unlimited. He got the Amex Gold business, he got the Amex Platinum business, and the Blue Business Plus, all for Mitch. So this was his year of Amex business cards. He did the Blue Business Plus was a targeted offer where it was like 50,000 points. I think we had to spend $15,000 on the card. So a higher spend, but the card has no annual fee and you earn 2x on everything. So if you get that targeted offer and you get it hit the spend, it's a really good one. What's interesting about Mitch is he was in Amex pop-up jail for a really long time, like years. And then they decided that they liked him, and now they're giving offers. I'm waiting though. We haven't got the Amex Platinum business gravy train like you and Dad did, Mom, and like Jess, how Ted has. So I'm hoping that that's coming our way. Let's make 20 fingers crossed for 2025 being the Amex gravy train year for Mitch. They don't give me anything. I mean, they give me welcome offers, but no like targeted special ones. So hoping I get some of those. Last card, the most recent one we opened was the City AA Advantage business card. So as you'll see, like I had Mitch get a lot of cards this year, just kind of how it went about. Cause like I already had an Amex Business Platinum. I wasn't targeted for the Business Platinum or the Blue Business Plus card. So just kind of how it worked out. I personally didn't open very many cards, which probably means next year I'll open more cards and he'll open less. That's kind of how it tends to work out. So
So, Alex, I got to ask, did
yeah.
Mitch actually go online?
No.
I was
No,
going
of
to
course not.
You kind of acted like he was, and I was thinking, "Go, Mitch," because I know Ted and Lee
No.
don't. So
Well,
I was pretty
I wouldn't,
impressed.
even if he said like, "Hey, I'm fine doing this. I'll go open the cards." I would say, "No, no, 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 no. Let me do this." I'm a little bit of a control freak when it comes to the points and miles and the credit card stuff. Like, I'll let him pay off cards. I'm more than happy to let him pay off credit cards under his like Chase account. I do all the rest, but no, I will be opening all of the cards. I'm like, I don't want him accidentally applying for some card that I'm like, wait, why did we get that one?
Exactly.
So, yeah. What about you, Mom?
Okay, so Jess, first of all, I have to ask you, did you not apply for the Chase Freedom Unlimited last year?
I I applied in December 2023.
Oh, okay, okay. So, okay, that was it. Okay. So I applied for that. That was key to my strategy for this year. I put just about everything when we weren't meeting minimum spend on that card. They had a really great offer of you usually get 1.5 points per dollar spent, and they had a deal. Wow, if they ever come up with this again, I'd love to get this for or me, where they are going to match it at the end of the year. Both Jess and I did it. I think we were just like, I think you must have done it. Maybe I did it a couple weeks later or something. And so we're both waiting for our matches. They should be coming anytime soon. But I
You guys
put,
gave me FOMO with that offer.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
I
dang it.
put
Why did I do it?
340. I earned 340,000 Chase Ultimate rewards through that. So I should get 340,000 points coming my way. And so I'm really excited about that. That's what I did. I'm excited about all those Hyatt stays I get to stay at.
So you're basically earning almost 700,000 Chase points from one card that has no annual fee. That
Exactly.
is amazing. I agree with you. If they come out with that offer again, I am signing Ted. I purposely only signed me up
Mhm.
for it because I was like, if this offer comes out again, I want him to be eligible for it. So I
Yeah, it
totally
was an
agree.
amazing offer. And actually, because I have not been having great luck with Chase business cards lately, I kind of concentrated on that and thought, that's probably pretty much what I'm going to do. But then I did get some more cards, and I actually was really surprised at my total because I wasn't expecting a great total this year. And I wasn't really concerned because I have a huge stockpile of points and miles anyway. So my husband and I did just recently both get the Chase British Airways card. That was a surprise that I did that, but I end up using Avios a lot. And, whether it's through Qatar or through Iberia, those are the two ways I usually do. Really haven't used them for Aer Lingus, but also I've used them on British Airways. going over to Europe, and there I found better deals than I used to be able to find where I don't have to pay so much in taxes and fees, so it seemed like a good thing to do. We both got the Barclays Hawaiian Airlines business card, and I'm really glad that we got that now. I had originally planned to use it for when we go to Hawaii or for intra-island flights, but now, for the time being, I don't know how long that will last, you can transfer those Hawaiian Airlines over to Alaska Airlines, which are really worthwhile, very profitable miles to have. I've done some really good business class deals with them. And so that ended up being something I didn't plan on, but ended up being really good. My husband got the Ink Business Cash Credit Card. I think that's the only, no, he did get the IHG One Rewards Premier Business Card too. So he got 2 business cards from Chase. And since then, they haven't been very loving him either. But although Chase doesn't love to give me business cards, they did give me an IHG One Rewards Premier card, and they gave both of us the British Airways cards. So it seems like they've gotten a little bit tougher in the business cards, but they
Business
seem
class
to not
cards.
business class cards. Yeah, I like that. Well, that's what I use them for, I guess.
I know exactly.
Yeah. They have been tougher on those approvals, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the personal cards, at least for my husband and myself. I did do a surprising thing, and I did apply for the Built Rewards MasterCard by Wells Fargo. That was something that I just really didn't have a lot of options of what I really want to apply for. We do pay rent. We sold a house, and since then we've been renting. So I thought I can earn, quite a bit for that. And then they had an offer that, the first month, I forget exactly how it went. So I could be botching this offer totally up. But it was either the first 5 transactions you did, the first month, the first 2 weeks, something, you would earn more points per dollar spent. So I was able to earn 50,000 points during that period of time. So that seemed like a $50,000 welcome offer to me. And so it made sense for me to do it.
$50,000 welcome.
Oh, I wish. Yeah, I wish. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know with that offer's kind of weird because it's not like a guarantee, but it seems like
Right.
most people do get it. So I
Exactly.
guess you're kind of taking a little bit of a risk with that, but
Because you don't find out till after you're approved,
Exactly.
right? Like if you
Yeah.
have a
Exactly.
bonus
It was a
spending
risk,
thing.
but I thought if I'm paying $3,000 a month, hey, that's 36,000, points I
Yeah,
can
for a
earn a year.
renter, it makes perfect sense, and
Yeah.
they're coming out with a mortgage option, so
Mhm.
could be interesting to see when that happens and what that's gonna be like for those of us that have,
Yeah, we
mortgages.
may be tooting their horn, pretty soon. And then my husband got the United Explorer card. We live near a United hub. He's had it before. He may have even had it twice. I think we get it, we cancel it every 2 years or so. We get it again. So that's pretty
Do you
much
know
what we
what?
did.
I forgot. Mitch got that card too. When I was adding up my cards, I'm like, "I swear we opened 12. Why do I have 11 here?" He opened a United Explorer card, personal card as well.
Yeah.
So,
So I
yeah.
ended up with pretty close to 1.5 million points. And that was surprising because I thought I'd be lucky to get 1 million this year. So surprised
And is that
myself.
including your freedom stuff or no?
Yeah, that's including my freedom
Oh,
bonus.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I forgot to share my total points. I ended up, I believe it's about 1.6, almost 1.7 million, which is the most I've ever done. So,
Mhm.
you beat the 2 of us.
I know. I never beat you guys.
It's Mitch getting online and spending all his
Right.
time applying for those cards.
And Alex also travels the least of the 3 of us. So I've been petitioning her to share the wealth a little bit with Pam and I so that we can continue making all this content.
Oh, you're hilarious.
Jess even said that that's what Alex should give me for Christmas is some Hyatt
Yeah.
points. But, I'm not doing too bad. So we'll keep that for another year when I'm having trouble.
Let's see. I love it. You're like, Alex, just like, can you gift us some points? I only earned 1.5 million or 1.3 million and you earned 1.6. Like, oh, I feel so bad for you guys only earning 1.5 million and 1.3 million points to my 1.6.
Well. All right, now I think we are going to talk about the cards that we each canceled or downgraded this year. I also want to give a quick plug for the Travel Freely app. That is the only reason I know any of this information because when I was putting this outline together, I literally opened my app, went to my cards that I opened in 2024, went to Ted's cards that he opened in 2024, and then you can also view every time I close or downgrade a card, I edit the card in Travel Freely also. And so I was able to view my inactive cards and see which of those I closed and downgraded in 2024. So this would have taken much longer, and I probably would have forgotten a lot of this information without that app. So thank you, Travel Freely. Okay, so Chase, like Pam kind of alluded to, Chase has gotten a little bit stricter with the business cards. There is no like rule, like it's not like a clean cut reason. Like here's why they're denying you. It just seems to be a little unpredictable. And so, but I've read a lot that the number of ink cards you have open could be a factor in whether they approve you for more. And so I kind of closed a lot of ink cards this year. I did not do it all at one time. I space out my closures. If you if you call them and say I want to close 7 ink cards, that's going to set off a red flag. So do not do that. I personally closed 2 ink cash and an ink preferred, and then Ted closed his ink premier, an ink preferred, an ink cash, and an ink unlimited. So altogether, we did close 7 ink cards between the two of us. Like I said, spread that out. I didn't even close 2 on the same day. So I think I waited at least a month between all of those closures. I closed an Amex Business Gold just because I could not justify the annual fee any longer. I closed my Venture X business so that I could get the Spark Cash Plus business card. You cannot have both of those at the same time. So it had been my year since I opened the Venture X business, closed that, waited 30 days, got the Spark Cash Plus. I closed my IHG Business Premier card because I also have the personal version. They are basically exactly the same card, and I don't need 2 of them. And so I closed the business version mainly because when you close business cards, it doesn't really impact your credit score as they don't appear on your personal credit report. And so to me, it's just like a way to avoid impacting my credit by just closing the business version. And then I product changed my City Strata Premier to a City Rewards Plus, basically just to keep that credit line open and active, but to not pay an annual fee. And then lastly, Ted closed his World of Hyatt business card just because couldn't really justify that 199 annual fee. I will always have the business card because it's crucial to my strategy for earning globalist status, but he doesn't need globalist status and therefore he doesn't need that card. He still has his Hyatt personal card though, because that one comes with the free night certificate every year. So he'll always have that one, but we got rid of his business card. So that's a lot of cards that we closed or downgraded this year.
Yeah, that is a lot.
All right. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, so Mitch and I both closed the Hilton Honors business card. For me, it wasn't worth it once they got rid of the option to get that free night certificate when you spent $15,000 in a calendar year. They do have some credits that you can earn, but like what I don't even remember what it is. It was like, because you kept yours, right, Jess? You kept one of them?
I kept I wish I had kept both of them, but at the time so I kept mine and I closed Ted's and then I realized this. So we actually our annual fee renewed at the like $95 rate before that increase went into effect. And they do have like a $60 Hilton credit per quarter. And so that alone is $240, which like more than offsets the $95 annual fee. So I
Yeah.
kept mine for one more year. But then as soon as my next annual fee hits at the increased fee, then I'm going to cancel it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. For me, I'm just like, I get tired of Amex having all these credits.
It's so annoying.
And I'm
Mhm.
like, I get that I could come out ahead, but I don't but it's like, what's the time cost there too?
Yeah.
Like there I gotta put that into factor of like the brain space it takes and just the time. And so what people have been doing is they've been buying gift cards with those, and those gift cards have become really hard to redeem. So I don't know. I would just like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't like the new annual fee. with losing. If they would have kept the free night certificate for 15,000, I probably would have kept it for that, even with the increased annual fee. But I was like, you know what? We're done. We got the Surpass card, so we still have a Hilton card, so we're good. I also closed my Amex Business Gold card, just like you said, not really worth the fee. I actually asked them for a retention offer first. I think they offered me like 15,000 points. I don't remember what the spend was, and I considered it, but I was like, "Oh, that's not like," I don't it just to me was like, then I'm gonna have to go through this whole conversation again next year. It wasn't really enough for me to, like, be super excited about, so I was like, "No, let's just get rid of it." I didn't want and they're like, "Why?" Like, they're trying to get me to keep the card and whatnot. I did it through Amex Chat, and my whole justification was, I'm already paying a very expensive high annual fee for the Amex Business Platinum. That's $695. I think the Gold Business is what, $395, $350, one of those?
375. I think it's 375.
Somewhere high, and I was like, "I'm spending over $1,000 for 2 Amex cards, like, that's ridiculous." So, got rid of that one. I closed an Ink Cash and an Ink Preferred for myself, same reason Jess mentioned above, and now I'm thinking, I only got rid of 2. Maybe I should go through and see what other ones I can get rid of, because 'cause it's been a while, like, same thing as Jess, I waited at least 30 days. I also, like, reduced credit lines on a lot of my cards as well, so you that's another option to try if you're having issues with them. And then Mitch closed an Ink Preferred, and yeah, that's it for us. What about you, Mom?
You know what? I was kinda lazy. I really didn't do a lot there. I just
I
kinda
feel like
let
that's
things
kinda you every year. You're kinda like,
I
I
get
didn't really get rid of much."
Yeah, I really need to do better with that. I need to look at it better this year. There's definitely some I need to downgrade or get rid of. I am very good about making good use of my,
You're
benefits, so
very good at
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm constantly telling someone, "Oh, I've got a credit on this card that I need to use, so let's go here," and I'm really good about it, and you know what the difference is? I don't have little kids at home, so it doesn't I don't
Yeah.
have all this stuff taking up headspace, and so, I can kinda keep track of it better.
Well, and sometimes you'll be like, "Hey," she'll text me, "I'm out of town," or "I'm out of the country and my Uber credits are gonna expire. What do you want?" And I'll pick up dinner and I'll do Uber pickup and you can go
Yeah.
pick up some dinner for your family. And I'm like, "Ooh, this is great."
Yeah, yeah, so I'm really good about making use of my benefits, and so it's not like I'm paying these huge annual fees and not getting anything out of it, but I agree with the whole idea of I there are a lot of coupon book things that I have to take advantage of. So we did, like, both of you did, we did get rid of, a few ink business cards, not as many as I need to. We did both get, rid of the business cash credit card, and I did do the business unlimited. I can't remember if it was for my husband or myself. I too need to probably get rid of a couple more of those. My husband and I we're on the American Express, Platinum Business Gravy train for a while, so I've been getting rid of, 1 or 2 each year for each of us, and I think I only did each of us 1 this last year. Then just recently, like within days, Jess, had told us about the, venture, the Sparks what is it called? Sparks Plus
Spark
Cash?
Spark Cash Plus.
Okay. I see, I'm so familiar with it. But I'm familiar enough to know that it's a good deal, and I have a lot of spend that I have to do through paying estimated taxes, but we can't get it if we hold the Venture X business card, so I got rid of my husband's so he can apply for the other card in a couple weeks. So I followed the way that Jess did it. I'm crossing my fingers it works for me. But I do need to also go in and I need to product change my City Strata Premier to City Rewards. I hardly have any points in there right now anyway, so I don't know why I'm paying an annual fee. I get nothing from it. So this has been good for me to realize some things I need to do.
Pam's taking notes.
Yes.
I was gonna say, if people are like, "What are they talking about with this, Spark Plus card from Capital One, Spark Business Plus, whatever." We'll put a link in the show notes because Jess wrote a great blog post that walks through how she got it, like the process of canceling her Venture X business to get this card. It's very, very helpful. And she went through the pain of figuring out how to get it. So
I
we'll put a link in the
applied
show notes.
I applied for this card not 1, not 2, but 3 times just to provide you all with some very helpful content.
Yeah, so
Thanks,
make sure to
Jeff.
check that out.
All right, so now I think we're going to go into our points and miles trips from 2024. Sorry in advance, my list is long. I
Buckle
blame
up.
I blame Taylor Swift for going on an Eras tour, but I also blame myself for having zero self-control. So the first one, it's funny when I was writing this, I was like, Japan was in January? That seemed like 2 years ago. But anyways, so Ella, Olivia, and I went to Tokyo and Kyoto. Oh, also, I just want to add, we have individual podcast episodes for a lot of these trips. We're not going to go into details about these trips, just going to kind of list out all our trips so you can see, like, dang, that's what's possible with points and miles. Yes, it is. So,
And we have web
yeah,
posts on the
blog.
web too about most of them.
Posts on the web.
Posts on the
Blog
web.
posts.
Blog posts.
Blog posts.
Guys, hey, we are in Mexico. I'm sitting in a closet right now, so my brain's a little tired.
Okay, so Tokyo and Kyoto was in January. In February, I went to the Andes, Costa Rica with Molly and my mom. In March for spring break, we went to Scotland and we went to Edinburgh, and then we stayed at the Schloss Roxburgh Castle Hotel that is amazing, that I recommend to everyone. The 3 of us went to Singapore and Kuala Lumpur for a little travel mom squad getaway. Then Ted and I went to Bora Bora. In June, we went on our Gilmore Girls road trip. We flew into Boston and then we drove to Connecticut and saw some of the towns that inspired Stars Hollow. And then in July, my family went on our Chicago road trip, which was very exciting, and stayed at the Forester in Lake Forest, which is actually the most amazing Hyatt place I've ever stayed at. So highly recommend that one. Then I followed Taylor to Milan. And as long as I was in Milan, I was like, well, I might as well go to Lake Como. So I did a combination Park Hyatt Milan, Grand Hotel Victoria stay. And then later in July, we visited Alex. And so we stayed at her house, and I had an amazing globalist breakfast at her house and a welcome gift. But we also went to Park City for a couple of nights and stayed at the Waldorf Astoria. We redeemed some Hilton free night certificates. And so that was a fun little getaway to see the Pains and to see Park City.
Was it like your best welcome amenity you ever had at a hotel?
Oh yeah, there was a Taylor Swift Mad Libs book. So like that, it doesn't get any better than. Speaking of, then I went back to London to see Taylor with my mom. So we went to London and then we went to Paris. In September, Ella and I went to Santorini, Vienna, and Prague. For fall break in October, my family drove to San Antonio, stayed at the Hyatt Hill Country. And then later in October, we drove to New Orleans to see Taylor Swift for the last time. So don't worry, there's no more podcast episodes about seeing Taylor Swift. Y'all can
Until she goes
rest.
on tour again.
Yeah. So for the
Someday.
next year or two, you do not have to hear about me following her anywhere. Although I am,
Except she's going to Kansas City next week.
except I'm going to Kansas City in a week to hopefully see her at a Chiefs game. But anyways, they're gonna think I'm unhinged, which I sort of am.
Just know, you guys, it's not stopping. This is Jess. She's obsessed. You will probably hear about Taylor again, even if she's not on tour. So just be prepared.
Yeah. So I just literally days ago got back from London. Ted and I went with another couple to see all the holiday things that London has to offer this time of year. Now I'm in Mexico with these two crazies. And then on Friday, I leave to go to Kansas City to hopefully see Taylor Swift in her suite at the Chiefs game. And then finally, right after Christmas, we are going to Kauai, all 6 of us, and staying at the Grand Hyatt Kauai. So that is all.
As a reminder, that is just 1 year. That is not the last 10 years of travel. That is 1 year on points and miles, which literally, I mean, let's back up and just remind everybody, this is our job. We do this for a living. And it's still kind of crazy how much travel we squeeze in, but we do it in the name of research.
Yes.
Yeah, we hate it. We're doing it for you.
All right, Alex, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna be a little quicker. I don't have as much as Jess, but it's still a pretty awesome year. So started off the year at the Waldorf Astoria, Los Cabos Pedregal. That is where my husband and I spent our 15-year wedding anniversary. Then every year, well, whenever I have one of my kids turning 10, my mom and I take them on a trip. We took my second oldest to the Thompson San Antonio, and then stayed a few nights at the Spring Hill Suites in St. George. Really luxurious vacation there for that soccer tournament. It's actually it's a super fun weekend just to it's always in February. We get out of the as cold. It's warmer down in southern Utah. So it's super fun. Went to Hyatt Regency Huntington Beach and Hyatt House Anaheim for a Disneyland trip. The Hyatt Regency Austin, my mom and I went there for the iHeartRadio Podcast Awards, which we were nominated for, which was super awesome. We were nominated for Best Travel Podcast last year. And so a lot last year, this year. Yeah. I'm like all mixed up because I'm like, that feels forever ago, but it was only in March. So Jess sadly couldn't make it because she was Scotland. And I remember because she's like, oh my gosh, if Travis and Taylor are there, I'm going to die because they were nominated. Like Travis and his brother's podcast were nominated for like tons of awards, but she didn't miss them. They didn't come even though they won a lot. They sent like a video message. But anyway, like Jess said, the three of us went to Singapore and Malaysia. That was super fun. For spring break, my parents and my family, we went to the Park Hyatt Aviara in Carlsbad. My husband and I did Grand Hyatt Athens and Kennevis Ia Suites. So we went to Greece this summer. We had the best babysitter, Grandma Pam, come watch the kids. We took a family trip with my whole side of my family. There was 29 of us. We went to the Hyatt Place, Panama City Beach, flew Southwest there, of course, and then rented a house. That part wasn't on points, just down in the Destin area. Hyatt Place Park City, that was another soccer tournament this summer. We flew to Colorado. We visited my sisters and my parents. So that was just flights on points. And then my sisters and mom and I went to Portugal and we visited Lisbon and the Azores. So we stayed at the Hyatt Regency Lisbon, got all our flights on points. Such a great trip. I fell in love with Portugal. And then for fall break, my husband and our kids and I, we went to Amsterdam and London. And then we are similar to Jess. We are spending the end of the year right after Christmas, headed to the Hyatt Regency Maui. Super excited about that one. We're actually this is what's so funny is because we're gifting our kids this trip to Hawaii and we didn't pay for it. It's, we're using points for our hotel. We're using points for our flights. And so this very expensive, air quotes, expensive trip to Hawaii, this a very expensive, extravagant Christmas present is one of the cheapest Christmas presents we'll have given our kids. I mean, outside of rental car and food. So super excited to be able to do that with them. And they don't know it's going to be a surprise. So I'm really excited to see their reactions. They've been saying lately, like, Mom, it would be so cool is if you just surprised us and we went on a trip somewhere. I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. Maybe I'll do that someday. I was like, but I can't tell you guys. And they're like, well, when do you think you do it? I'm like, well, then it won't be a surprise. So it's kind of funny because they've been bringing this up, and I've had this trip booked for pretty much a year. And so I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad you guys think you like surprise trips because you're getting one. So.
I think you actually booked this trip last time we were together for our TMS retreat.
Yeah, we were in Scottsdale last year.
Yeah.
And like my mom said, we're in Mexico right now at our yearly end of the year retreat to kind of make goals and plan for next year. So what should I need to book another trip while we're here for next year? Anyway, that's it. So pretty amazing year getting to do some things that would never, ever, ever happen without points and miles. So what about you, Mom?
Well, obviously, because your kids don't know what it's like to go on a trip without grandma and grandpa along. Many of the same trips that you went on, we also went on, and I wouldn't like to have it any other way. We absolutely love it. Most of my trips do involve some sort of family. Started off last year with a trip to Abu Dhabi with my daughter that lives in London. So I flew over there first, and then we used miles for a bucket list flight that I just loved. Second only to my Singapore Suites flight is Etihad Apartments. It was amazing. So we flew over there, stayed at the Park Hyatt, Abu Dhabi, and that's one of my favorite Park Hyatts too. And then back in business class on Etihad. I also did a 3-generational trip with a daughter and granddaughter to the Cape Thompson, the Waldorf Astoria, Los Cabos Pedregales. That was wonderful. Went with Alex and her son Cruz to the Thompson San Antonio. Also went with Alex and some other daughters to the Hyatt Regency Huntington Beach and the Hyatt House Anaheim. Again, went with Alex. There's a theme here, to the Hyatt Regency Austin for the iHeartRadio awards.
I think you forgot one, Mom, when you brought up a 3-generational trip. Didn't you do the Kimpton Roatan last year?
Oh, yes, I did. I don't
right?
have it on my list. You're right.
Because that was a 3-generational trip as well with a different daughter and granddaughter.
Exactly. Yes, we did the Kimpton Roatans, which I really enjoyed. That was great.
Sure you did. You loved it so much you didn't even include it. Just kidding.
Alex and Riley, I loved it.
Kelly and Riley.
Sorry. Kelly and Riley. I can't even get the daughters straight. And
no offense, Kelly. She really does love you. Just
we'll
kidding.
see now if she listens to this podcast. If she says
that'll be
about
the
it.
real
That
truth, as if she listens.
Exactly.
If she doesn't, we know why you forgot about her.
Exactly. Well, went with Alex and Jess to the Andaz, Singapore, and to Kuala Lumpur. That was a great trip. Again, went with Alex and her family to the Park Hyatt Aviera. My husband and I did the safari that never was. First, we went to Mauritius, found out that there was flooding in Kenya. We did still spend a few nights in Nairobi, and then we quickly changed our safari into a trip to Sardinia. And that is one of the beauties of Points and Miles, is that I wasn't out of money. I just, did some maneuvering around, some changing around Points and Miles. I cannot say enough about how important it is to have that stockpile of points, because took some time, but we still had a great trip. I went with a friend to Santorini, Crete, and Vienna. Like Alex said, we did a family trip to Florida. From there, we went with our London-based daughter and her family and went to the Italian Dolomites. We didn't use Points and Miles to stay there, but we did to fly over and to fly back. And then we also visited them in London after. Italian Dolomites are insanely gorgeous. Very much like Switzerland, and just gorgeous. Went with my daughters to Lisbon and the Azores Islands. I then went with my sister to Rome, Lake Como, again to my beloved Grand Victoria Hotel in Lake Como, and on to Cinque Terre, which I also love. Went to visit my daughter in London and stayed at the Park Hyatt. And coming up right after Christmas, heading with Alex and her family to go to the Hyatt Regency Maui. I have to say that when I was writing my recap, I was almost sad. I was almost brought to tears because I just thought, what a great year. What insane travel I've been able to do. And this is something that I never would have been able to do if it wasn't for credit card Points and Miles. I'm insanely grateful for this hobby.
Yeah, she brought that up to us like 3 times. Like, you guys, weren't you just putting that list together? And just like, it just made me so sad. All those great trips are over. And I'm like, yeah, but now you have so many more great trips ahead of you for next year.
All right. Well, Pam ended it on a great note, but we hope that you've seen just how Points and Miles can change your life. It has certainly changed ours. It has allowed us to take all of these trips that we would otherwise never be able to afford and would never be possible. Next week, we are actually going to do a best of episode where we're going to talk about our favorite trips we took in 2024, our favorite hotel we stayed at, our favorite flight we took. And so you're definitely going to want to tune in to that. Also, it's kind of like a part 1 and part 2. And so definitely check that out next week. And if you aren't sure where to even start, make sure to register for our free webinar, How to Get Your Next Vacation for Nearly Free. We will leave a link in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. Make sure to hit the subscribe or follow button from wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. Want to start jet setting even faster? Follow the links in the show notes to learn about everything we discussed in today's episode. And to stay connected and follow along, follow us on Instagram at Travel Mom Squad. We can't wait to see where in the world points and miles take you.